Morning, everyone. Welcome to South Mountain Park. Is this a great place to get up and come in the morning, start your day? I always love it when we have a chance to come down here. My name is Jim Burke. I'm the Director of Parks and Recreation for the City of Phoenix, and it's a pleasure to have this event here this morning in our park, an opportunity to celebrate the 50-year history of the Land and Water Conservation Fund. What I'd like to do is start out by introducing the Mayor of the City of Phoenix, Mayor Stanton, who's a huge supporter of the park system and all things Parks and Recreation. Was telling us this morning he spends a lot of time in the park with his family, his young son and daughter, and he's a great supporter. I know he's a supporter of the parks and the neighborhood he grew up in. But Mayor Stanton?
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jim. And I first want to say, Ed Zerker, thank you for taking the acting off his title and making him our permanent Parks Department Director. Congratulations on your promotion. We are here to celebrate parks here in the city of Phoenix, celebrate parks all around the country. We are honored that the Secretary of the Interior took the time to visit our incredible park system. She had the opportunity to visit other park systems in other states around the Southwestern, and now she finished with the best park system in the entire country here in Phoenix, Arizona. You saved the best for last. And we have a room full of parks advocates, people who use and love our park system. And I don't want to change the subject from the Today's Press event, but I think it's apropos. As you know, that we have so many people that use our park system. Sometimes people who use our park system get in trouble and they need to be rescued. Everyone in this room knows, tragically, we lost one of our great rescuers from the Phoenix Fire Department, Firefighter Johnson, who was trained in mountain rescues and died in an accident, off-duty accident. So I think it's apropos, because we love our parks and we love the people that support our park system, including our mountain rescuers, that we start out with a moment of silence. All right, thank you for doing that. And just a polite reminder, particularly to our scouts who are here, when you see those rangers out on the preserve, or you see those firefighters or any, just say thank you. They appreciate it so, so much. They need our community support. So in addition to Secretary Jewell, who will say a few words in just a moment, I want to thank her for being here. Also want to thank Sarah Porter, who is the chair of our Parks Board, an incredibly important leadership organization overseeing our parks system. Tim Sprague, who is a very active leader on my sustainability advisory body. He pushes and pokes and prods me to head in the right direction to make sure that I, as mayor, and the city is on the cutting edge of sustainability. And we have made a lot of advancements in that regard, and many of the advancements that we've done in the city of Phoenix is because of the leadership of our city council, and the chair of our sustainability subcommittee is here, and that's Councilman Bill Gates, who's a great parks advocate. Thank you, Councilman Gates, for being here. And thanks again, Secretary Jewell, for taking the time to come to Phoenix to check out some of our outstanding parks and to help put a spotlight on the important 50th anniversary of the Land and Water Conservation Fund. Your leadership and championing this fund makes a difference for all of us in Phoenix, people across the United States of America, people from across the world who come to the United States to see our incredible parks. You saw firsthand today few of the places that this fund has made a great difference here in the city of Phoenix and in Cano Park and, of course, here in beautiful South Mountain. But the truth is that the impact of this fund is seen all across the United States of America. It's been absolutely critical to establishing urban parks and refuge and helping to protect green spaces in urban areas across the country. That's evident right here in South Mountain Park. Many people forget this is the largest park, urban park, municipal park in the entire country. Don't tell that to Mayor de Blasio in New York and Central Park, but we got something, we got a gem of our own here in Phoenix, Arizona. Because of its size, its location right next to so many residential areas, it's a park that everyone can enjoy. That's evident from its many uses. And on any given day, you can run into picnickers, hikers, road and mountain bikers, horseback riders, hang gliders, paragliders, skateboarders, longboarders we learned here today, derby track users, so many other people that use this park for recreational purposes. And earlier this morning we were out in Cano Park, a favorite spot for urban fishing and cookouts, and it's a great picnic spot. In fact, on Easter, weekend. It's one of the busiest spots in the entire valley, with visitors showing up before dawn, ready to stake out the very best spots. People in our city value parks. Every time we put support for the parks on the ballot, it gets supported by the people of this community overwhelmingly. We understand how fortunate we are to have so many great parks that continue to add to our quality of life. And as mayor, I understand it's my job to keep them clean and in good shape and ready for future generations to enjoy. So when I was asked as mayor of the city to sign on to support a national bipartisan Mayors for Parks coalition, it was a no-brainer. Of course I said yes and signed right up. But I know Julie Waterman is here from Mayors for Parks, who's corralling all of us mayors from around the country to make sure that we're doing our part. Thank you for visiting us here in Phoenix. And I'm a proud mayor to support our park system. As a proud mayor for the parks, I fought for renewal of and robust funding for the Land and Water Conservation Fund. And that's something we all mayors across the country and people in cities know. The Land and Water Conservation Fund is critical so that we have a full partnership, local, state, and federal, to make sure that people have full access. All people have full access to our park system. We're building a larger coalition and getting more and more mayors to press the need for Congress to support the Land and Water Conservation Fund. And in May, just a few months ago, the United States Conference of Mayors, at the national meeting, we secured unanimous passage of a resolution to support the reauthorization and full funding of the Land and Water Conservation Fund next year. Look, in politics, you don't get anything unanimous. The one thing we can agree on is we need to support our park systems across the United States of America. Secretary, thank you again for taking the time to visit us here in Phoenix, and the great time you gave us here in Canto Park, the wonderful tour and hike we just did on the Judy Tennell accessible trail there. That was awesome. Phoenix is proud to partner with you, and as mayor, I'm proud to partner with all of the people in this room to keep our parks strong so that we continue to create healthy communities and healthy economies in urban areas across the United States of America. And hold on just a second. I wanted to make sure I hit all my talking points. Jim Burke has confirmed that I have. Thank you. Anyway, so it's my great honor. He was giving me a look like I missed something. I'm like, all right. It is my great honor now to bring to the podium our Secretary of Interior, Sally Jewell. She has a long career, a successful career. I was going to give you some kudos first. I mean, come on. She's raring to go. She was up working out at her hotel room this morning and then was ready to go in this heat and that hike. That was awesome. Secretary Jewell has a long career, successful career in business. Many of you probably knew that she was the leader of REI, a company that makes its profit in terms of promoting outdoor activities and people utilizing our wonderful parks system across the country. And we were proud when the President tapped her to lead this incredibly important Department of Interior, and she's been a champion for what we're here to talk about, and that is getting funding for our Land and Water Conservation Fund. Our Secretary of the Interior, Sally Jewell.
Thank you. Thanks, Mayor Stanton, and thanks, Jim, for the great morning. I mean, they rolled up to my hotel at 7:30, and we've been doing nothing but parks since then, and I just can't think of a better way to spend my morning. So in Canto Park, beautiful urban park, so well used, and I heard all about Easter in Canto Park and how crowded that is, and that is fantastic, because so often it is an urban park like that that's in a neighborhood that gets people to recognize the value and importance of public lands. It may be their first park experience. We met a young woman, Mykayla, 8 years old today, and she made it her summer event to go to 50 parks with her stepdad, to get to know her stepdad, and he said he's getting out and he's walking and exercising more, and she was really proud of how strong she was after doing the monkey bars. We did a little push on the swing. And there were kids fishing in the park, and that's what it's all about. It's making the outdoors accessible to our young people, because our young people are growing up more urban, more diverse, more disconnected from nature than ever before, so overscheduled that so oftentimes they don't have time to just play. So your parks in Phoenix are a tremendous illustration of why Phoenix is a livable city, why you're growing as a city, why there are 2 REIs in this city, including Robert back there, the Tempe store manager. It's nice to give him a hug on the way in. I also want to say that it takes a village, a large village in this case, the city of Phoenix, 5th largest in the country, I think, to take care of its parks and open spaces. So we're going to hear from Sarah, the chair of the Phoenix Park and Rec Board. That is hard work. It's really important work. Robin Salthouse in the back, who is from the Phoenix Mountains Preservation Council. Those volunteer groups that advocate, that help people understand the importance of natural spaces, of maintaining the kind of habitat that keeps the animals that are so well known in this part of the country, that roamed this part of the country, and the plants, well, the plants didn't roam, the animals roamed, but here for thousands and thousands of years. And it was so interesting to hear about Phoenix and how the Hohokam laid out the aqueducts for water in the city of Phoenix, and they picked such a great spot that that's still being used and basically resulted in the layout. There is so much to learn from our ancestors. There's so much to learn from public lands and how we use them, and you're doing such a great job of that right here. Julie has done a really nice job pulling mayors together to support the Land and Water Conservation Fund. So let me just talk a little bit about that. Land and Water Conservation Fund was authorized by Congress 50 years ago. As the mayor mentioned, unanimous in the House, one dissenting vote in the Senate. Some grumpy guy was mad that he had to pay 25 cents to get into a national park unit somewhere. So he didn't vote for it, but everybody else voted for it. And it said when we are going to allow drilling in the Outer Continental Shelf, the federal waters that are owned by all American people, there is an impact of that development. And so let's mitigate that impact by applying that onshore through something called the Land and Water Conservation Fund. And let's be bold, and let's authorize it at $900 million, which was a substantial amount in that day of the oil and gas fees generated from drilling. Unfortunately, only once in its 50-year history has Congress actually chosen to appropriate $900 million. Every other year they have gone substantially below that. Some years, basically 1/9 of that amount, about $100 million. We would like to see that reauthorized because it expires next year, and we want to see it funded as it was intended at $900 million. We're not even asking for an index. Let's just fund it at its $900 million. So what has that meant for Arizona? $210 million. It's built parks throughout the state. It's built playgrounds. It's built biking trails. Encanto Park got a grant in the early 80s that helped put new structures over those playgrounds and rebuild the playgrounds. This park, in 1966, 1 year after the money was first made available for Land and Water Conservation Fund, got a grant that helped make South Mountain Park possible. And the money in those days would go, would be a lot larger number today. And sometimes it is just that catalyst to get places like this going. And as Phoenix has grown up around South Mountain Park, people need more breathing space. And so that little investment made by offshore oil and gas revenues back in 1966 for this park has made a big difference. You might also have heard of a few other places in Arizona, like Grand Canyon, or Saguaro National Park, or Lake Mead National Recreation Area, or the Buenos Aires National Wildlife Refuge. All of them have been recipients of the Land and Water Conservation Fund grant. Encanto, in the early 80s, got $250,000, which helped. And the most important thing about the stateside Land and Water Conservation Fund is it's matched. So the community, private donations, all kinds of things have gone to leverage that money far, far beyond where it would have gone otherwise. And we know from economic studies, $1 of Land and Water Conservation Fund returns at least $4 in investment in additional economic activity. So I'm here in Phoenix because you care about your parks and open spaces. I'm here in Phoenix because your mayor is one of the mayors for parks. I was in Fort Worth, Texas with Republican Mayor Betsy Price, and Governor Perry's appointed member of the Texas Parks and Wildlife Commission, who gave a speech that was better than one I've ever given on the value of full permanent funding for the Land and Water Conservation Fund. People love their parks. It's not a partisan issue. It is an issue that we all care about. And I can't think of a better illustration of that than here in the city of Phoenix. I also want to touch on something else, and that is our front row of Boy Scouts here. A few other young people, a few older Scouts in the back. If we are going to have parks in the future, we need to engage young people in them. Noah here in the front row finished a project, and I hope if it's not too hot, you should walk out and look at his handiwork, which is replacing all of the interpretive signs on this trail right outside the visitor center, and making them accessible to people who are visually impaired, leveraging technology so that you can use your smartphone to get the information. That Eagle Scout project is a great illustration of a young person that will never look at this park the same way as if he hadn't done that project. Excuse me. And in the museum, I saw another Eagle Scout project, a display of ore when this area was mined. This was a Civilian Conservation Corps camp way back in the 30s, 1937. The statue out there is of a CCC worker. We have an opportunity today to bring back the CCC 2.0, and that is to engage more and more young people on our public lands through Youth Conservation Corps crews, through Eagle Scout projects, through Boy Scouts visiting, getting our young people to work alongside tradespeople, people from the community, to do volunteer work on these parks. And we see that growing across the country. So back in the 30s, supported through the New Deal, paid for by the Federal Treasury. The Federal Treasury is not so interested in paying for that today, but we can bring the CCC back by working with Youth Conservation Corps crews and volunteer crews and give these young people a connection to place that will never leave them, so they will care about parks like this in the future. So I want to thank you, Noah, for your good Eagle Scout work. I want to thank the rest of the Scouts for all those merit badges you're wearing. You look like French generals. You've got so many things on. I want to thank you for your stewardship of these lands. And for those of you that are out here, you are stewards of the lands, and that's why you're here. So thanks for welcoming me to Phoenix. Thanks for the wonderful morning that I've had. Thanks for the lack of humidity that I'm now getting used to in Washington, D.C. I just have to say that you have a lot to be proud of here, and I can't think of a better place to help highlight why this Land and Water Conservation Fund is so important. So thank you very much. I'll turn it back to Jim.
Thank you, Secretary Jewell, for those comments. And it's a great assignment when you have to get up in the morning and go to a city park. So I don't mind having done it. We did also take the chance to drive through South Mountain Park and look at some of the infrastructure needs here. They're over 100 years old, 90 years old, and they need some retrofits. So we'll be putting in a grant request for that. So my colleague in the middle of the room there, Brian Martin, I hope you take a chance to read it. It's got to go through state parks and be considered to be sent down to the feds, but we're excited about the opportunity for a future grant for this park to help improve it. Now I'd like to introduce another great supporter of the park system. In her part-time job, she's the vice chair of the City Parks and Recreation Board, spends a lot of time looking at policy issues, talking about acquisition, development, use of property, and the impacts of those uses. And in her full-time job, she's the executive director of Audubon, Arizona, which is a great partner with us at Rio Salado. And with that, Sarah Porter, would you make a few comments? Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. And I had to take that moment to tell Secretary Jewell how we're doing a program at Audubon to get urban kids from Phoenix to go into the Rio Salado and do habitat assessments funded by the U.S. Forest Service and Bureau of Land Management. So it's a wonderful triangle of federal support and agency involvement, a great public-private partnership between an NGO, Audubon, and the City of Phoenix. So thanks for letting me have a chance to give that plug, Jim. I'm really delighted to be here on behalf of my fellow members of the Phoenix Parks and Recreation Board this morning, and I wish, Madam Secretary, that you had been able to see more of our park system. I know you saw some highlights, but it was just a tiny bit of the great park system that we have in the City of Phoenix. And I have to add, we also have a great parks staff led by Jim Burke, and we're very lucky as citizens of Phoenix. And thank you, park staff members who are here. We know that the Land and Water Conservation Fund has touched a large number of parks in Phoenix. In fact, more than $10 million of Land and Water Conservation Fund monies over the course of the decades of the fund have been leveraged with local funds to develop more than 70 traditional Phoenix city parks and several desert preserves. Nearly 40% of Phoenix's parks have been touched by the Land and Water Conservation Fund. Think of that, 40% of our parks. Over the decades, Land and Water Conservation Fund grants have been used to build swimming pools, basketball courts, athletic fields, to light fields, to build other amenities, to build those urban lakes that Secretary Jewell saw multi-generations go to and learn how to fish. And the list goes on and on. Paths, area lighting, amenities like restrooms, picnic areas, the things that we go to our parks for. In many, many instances, Land and Water Conservation Fund grants have been used to kickstart development of new park sites, and that would have been vacant lots otherwise. In my own childhood, I grew up in Phoenix, and we didn't have a good neighborhood park. And I remember as a kid wishing, just wishing, all the kids did, we wished we had a park to play in. Around the time I graduated high school, that park was developed with funding from the Land and Water Conservation Fund. And it wasn't that much funding, $150,000, but that got the park going. Well, that's the park my own children grew up playing in. And I passed through that park this morning as a water stop in the end of my run, and it was full of people. My neighborhood park, it was full of toddlers playing on the playground equipment. It had parents practicing soccer with their school-age kids. There were people walking their dogs, people sitting in the shade chatting. It's that kind of funding that made it happen, and it's that kind of park that creates unity and kind of togetherness, community spirit in our neighborhood. And that's why this Land and Water Conservation Fund program is so important for us as residents of the city of Phoenix. What's our most iconic park in Phoenix, besides Encanto? What's our most iconic? Camelback Mountain, thank you. Even Camelback Mountain is there for us to enjoy in part. Of course, the mountain was there, but why do we get to enjoy it? It's because of, in part, Land and Water Conservation Fund monies. Those grants were helped to fund the acquisition of the land that makes the Echo Canyon Recreation Area. In peak season, over 10,000 people a week are hiking via Echo Canyon. So one of the greatest tourist amenities, one of the most iconic places in the city of Phoenix, was developed thanks to the Land and Water Conservation Fund. I go around to our great county parks, our state parks, RJ, our state parks and our great city parks, and of course every vacation I take, I'm an environmentalist, I go to our great national parks, and I always stop and give thanks. I'm thankful that people had the foresight to invest in parks. I never forget how important it is that somebody a couple decades ago put the money into creating a park, securing a space so that it could be shared by the public. And we know that the city of Phoenix is going to continue to grow. And if we want to be a great city, if we want to be a city where people can be happy, where people have places to go and be part of a community, we know we need to continue investing in parks. So we simply cannot understate the importance of the continued funding of the Land and Water Conservation Fund to make that possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Great comments. And I'd like to bring up our final speaker, and I was really thrilled to hear the mayor introduce and comment about Tim this morning, that Tim is occasionally a needle in his side, because he's chosen to play that role with me, too. Tim's a great supporter of downtown, great supporter of parks, and he's putting his money where his mouth is. He's a developer and a project person in the downtown area, so he's here to give us a little point of view from the business world and economics on the value of parks. Tim Sprague.
Yes, I can be a thorn in the side every now and then. I'm going to talk about the economic value of parks. Who am I? I'm a guy that develops real estate, but I've also got another hat on nowadays. I'm president of the Hance Park Conservancy. Hance Park is a 32-acre park in downtown Phoenix, right next to where I've got some real estate projects going on. And the best way for me to talk about the economic value of parks is to talk about 3 times in my life. I grew up in Lawton, Oklahoma, a small town. And I grew up literally across the street from a city block park that was built by the CCC. And that was the focal point of my life. Imagine this. 13 boys lived around this park. I learned to ride a bicycle there. We played football, baseball, tennis. That was the best part of our lives. But I really didn't understand the value of that for my economy until I went to grade school. And it seemed that every day the guys wanted to come home to my house and play after school. And I thought it was because of my great personality. You know what? I found out it was because of my park across the street. Well, I mean, it really had an impact in my life than it did back then. Well, let's fast forward to 2002, 2003 in my life. That's at the time when Richard Florida wrote his book, The Rise of the Creative Class. We started learning about how cities are able to attract the best businesses, able to attract the knowledge-based workers. Really, that's the time that the millennials started coming out of school. My kids started coming out of school. And during that time period, he said, you know, you've got to have a tolerant society, but you have to have an urban core, and you have to have entertainment, and you have to have recreation. You have to have things that will pull those kids back to where you are. Well, about that same time, my business partner and I decided we were going to build in downtown Phoenix, or build along the light rail. Well, a real critical decision for us is that we ended up acquiring a piece of land from the city of Phoenix that was next door to this 32-acre park that I was telling you about. And at that time, we built a project that was 54 units, 6 stories tall, overlooking the park and the Japanese Friendship Gardens. We sold 52 of those things before we finished construction. And I will tell you, it was location, location, location. It was location next to a park. And everybody loves living there. Well, the recessions happened. And in 2009, the Trust for Public Lands came out with a study. And they found that 30-plus studies had gone on, and they found there were some items about the inherent value of parks. Number one, property value that we realized at our condo project, which, by the way, sold for about 15 to 20% more than any other product around. The next is the health value, which is very obvious. Tourism, we take advantage of that here. But lastly, it's community cohesiveness that comes out of park, which is a value. And that's something that I'm experiencing right now with what we're doing with Hance Park. And that gets to the third part of my life. I have 2 projects next to the park, and people say, well, Sprague, you're probably interested in that park because of the economic benefits you're going to receive from it. You know what? That's not really the case. I'm really interested in that park because my wife and I have 4 kids that are now grown, they're out, they have great jobs, but only one lives here in Phoenix. How am I going to bring them back? Well, I think the way I'm going to bring them back is to do everything I can to make this a great city. And one of the best things that I can do is participate and support our parks, because that's an element of my life and an element of all of us that'll make Phoenix a better place and make it attractive to get the best businesses, make it attractive to get the best people to come. And you know what? Selfishly, it's going to bring my kids back home. So I cannot ask you to do any more except to support the parks, support the way we live, and we have a great place here. And the Land and Water Conservation Fund, it just befuddles me that we don't take advantage of that. That's no money out of your pocket. That's not a tax dollar. It's coming out. So let's reap the benefits of our natural resources and bring them back home. Thanks.
Thank you, Tim. Those are great comments. That's the end of the official program. I just want to take a moment recognizing another Parks Board member, Charlene Tarver, who's here. Thank you for joining us and supporting us. And then the Chief of Staff for District 8, Councilwoman Gallegos, is here. Cassandra, thank you for being here this morning. Thank you all for supporting Phoenix Parks, Arizona State Parks, County Parks, everything in the state of Arizona. And thank you, Secretary Jewell, for coming here and kicking off this event. And you all have a great day. Thank you now.